Hey friends, Mark Holmes here with apparently a whole gallery here critiquing what I am saying. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing. And I'm not going to put on anything else because I don't feel like having the dog look at me, as well as my wife say, "What the heck was that you were saying?" Okay, just got finished watching episode 2 of the Dallas Cowboys All or Nothing. Boy, it's hard to relive that season because that season was full of so much promise. But what's evident to me is, boy, I'm gonna catch a lot of flack for this, but I got to be honest. Um, Zeke Elliott was key to this team, and everything went through Zeke Elliott, and it seems like the coaching staff was completely lost and blindsided. In that Denver game, when the Cowboys couldn't get anything going with the running game, it was just like everybody's just looking around at each other and trying to figure out what do we do. And that's the thing that you got to understand about football is you're going to have games where you've got the best laid game plan, but things are going to work out. But you've got to be able to adjust. You've got to be able to say, okay, this isn't working. Here's where we're going to go. But to me, it just seemed evident that they were lost. In episode 2, it starts out with LaDainian Tomlinson talking about Zeke Elliott literally checked out of the game because, there was a play in there where there was an interception where the play is still going on and Zeke Elliott's walking off the field. It's inexcusable. But you can see how everything that was going on with the NFL, suspension and stuff, was driving him crazy. In the second episode, you see him show up to practice late. He looks just like out of it. They're like, well, go down and take a shower and, get your mind right and things like that. And it's almost like the coaching staff works for Zeke Elliott instead of Zeke Elliott working for the coaching staff. And it's like they were afraid of him. And that's one of those things that you hear Jason Garrett cussing it throughout all this. But guys, anybody who's played football knows everybody is doing nothing but cussing. It's not like it's a surprise. So everybody who thinks that just because, oh my God, Jason Garrett cusses at the guys means that he's a great coach doesn't translate. You hear Dak Prescott cussing in the huddle. It's normal to say F you, man, kiss my, whatever. All this stuff goes on in the football field. There's a lot of things that you don't see on TV that happens with football. But the coaching staff, it seems like there's no dynamic where it's a problem between Des Bryant and Dak Prescott, like a lot of people try to make it up. It seems like the problem was between the position coach and Des Bryant more than anything else. That dynamic seemed like that just wasn't there. And both of them are gone from the situation. So we'll see how that goes through there. But the thing that you realize is how important Sean Lee was to that team. When Sean Lee was there with the Rams, they had an opportunity to still win that game. But the biggest key was in any game, you can find one or two plays that make all the difference in the world. The Cowboys were up big, and Ryan Switzer had the muffed punt deep in our territory, which enabled the Rams to get within 8 points at halftime and start being able to get back into the game. Had we not had that fumble, our season could have been totally different. That one play, to me, was the difference in that game. Because instead of having to go pass happy in the second half to come back because you were down 15 points or more, you're within a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. And they were able to use Todd Gurley to run down our throat and wear out our defense without Sean Lee that just could not get off the field. They literally scored 5 straight times. And that was pretty much the season. The other interesting thing is, as I'm watching this, is it's all about the Dallas Cowboys, but you really don't see Jerry Jones that much. Now, you see him with the whole anthem protest and stuff, kneeling on the field. You'll hear his voice occasionally and stuff, but you don't see him being the overbearing guy that we're always portrayed. Now, I know Jerry Jones has 2 suites. I've seen them. He's got his main party suite, 150 people can be in. And then there's an elevator that goes upstairs to a smaller suite that's right there above it on the 50-yard line that him and Steven can watch the game and has a telephone that goes down on the field. So we don't know how much Jerry decided he's going to be in the backgrounds and try and change the narrative on this. Like I've said, you can take a couple of clips here and there and set any kind of narrative you want. If anything, it's almost like they're setting this up that it's Jason Garrett who's the guy who's really run the team. So if the team doesn't do next year, you can say it was Jason Garrett, he gets fired, and Jerry Jones can continue to do what he does. I can't tell you that fact. I kind of believe it. You probably believe it as well, but we're going by what we're seeing on here. So that's where we are with the first 2 episodes on this. I think I'm going to try, instead of marathoning this out, I think I'm going to kind of stretch it out a little bit over a couple of days, because it is the off season. We don't have football. We don't have games tomorrow and Sunday. And so I'm going to take a little break and kind of let this stuff sit in. But this goes back to something that I mentioned yesterday and hadn't had a chance to actually do a video about. As we're getting close to the beginning of the season, and the NFL originally had the suspension, I said at that point, I think it would have been better for Zeke to just go ahead and take that suspension, get it over with, and then be ready for the stretch run down the end. And people beat me down. Oh no, you always keep fighting. You always want to keep fighting. You never give up. But see, you weren't fighting the law. The law already said there was nothing there. You were fighting the 800-pound gorilla of the NFL. And if they could suspend Tom Brady, Tom Terrific, they certainly were going to suspend Zeke Elliott. It was just a matter of time. And looking back at that now, the team would have been better not to have had this distraction that literally carried through. This thing killed that team. But we'll go into that more later on. So guys, hope you're having a great weekend. Gonna take a break, go get something to eat, spend some more time with the wife. As always, friends, thank you guys for watching the Jobu Sports Report. See you soon.